Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Knicks Vibes. Thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Young, Bo, Easy. Man, great game tonight. Played a game against the Pistons, home opener, 106 to 130. The Knicks shut it down at home. Start off the season. Touche, man. Muy bien. You know what I'm saying? Really good. In front of the home crowd. Beautiful all around game from the starters to the bench. But before I get into all of that, man, I want to say thank you. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your peoples. For those of you that subscribe and are returning viewers, thank you very much, man. And for those of you that are new, man, I hope you enjoy the show and choose to stick around, man. Please click on that red button below. Subscribe, man, and share with your peoples, man. I would truly appreciate it, man. You know what we're here for, man. We're here for the Knicks. Let's get it, man. And by the way, pardon for not recording that first show. For the first game of the season against the Memphis Grizzlies. Great game. If you watched it, phenomenal game, man. Got to give kudos to the Memphis Grizzlies. Playoff team, indeed. Granted, everything, as health-wise, I feel like that's the only thing that could deter them from going into the playoffs. And even second round of the playoffs, honestly, but playoffs nonetheless. And we competed. And that's all you would want. But I was at the 40-40 club with what KFTV was shooting. And it was a vibe. Everybody was watching the Knicks game. And there was some people watching the Yankee Astros game. But it was a vibe all in all, man. Very enjoyable night. I definitely enjoyed myself. My bro enjoyed himself. So that was a vibe, and that's why we didn't shoot the first game. But, man, no more waiting. Let's get into it, man. And like I said, the Knicks, 130. Pistons, 106. All-around game. Soon as tip-off, woo! I found this on the web. Listen, relax. Soon as tip-off went off, man, it was game time. Foot on necks. We came out through the first punch. And pretty much for the most part did not look away and did not, I can't get my words together. We did not look back after. You know what I'm saying? So it was just a vibe. We kept it going. Starters came out playing beautifully. You gotta love how Randall is playing. You gotta love how Brunson is playing. Mitch with the offensive boards and constantly giving us second chance points. Evan Fournier could have took some jump shots today, but he was still penetrating and being aggressive, man. And it was just this. The starters definitely have a killer mindset, and the question was, is the bench prepared to match that energy? Because it was certain points. My opinion, the offense was not flowing for the bench. The bench just did not have it going. There was no rhythm. And they answered the call. Yes. All right. Which, ladies and gentlemen, tonight brings us to Easy's star of the show for the home opener. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you Emmanuel Quickley. Listen, man. IQ, Mr. Gotta come through. Quick. Come on, man. Yo, 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 8 for 14, 3 for 8 at the three-point line, 37% from deep. Listen, 37.5, you want to be correct. But you see it on the screen, all right? Listen, the question was, I was really disappointed with how Quickley finished the preseason. And in the first game, he bombed. You know what I'm saying? It was not a good look. But like I said, him, along with some other co-stars on the bench, answered the call. All right? Quickley Normally, Quickly is that spark plug for us, and I had no issues with that. But it seems with this lineup, there was something different, and you were wondering why Quickly couldn't get in the normal rhythm and couldn't get those normal buckets that he do. He just didn't look comfortable. So when you aren't comfortable, ladies and gentlemen, you just gotta play within the flow of the offense. And you gotta let the game come with you. Listen, I think Quickly was the last person. Quickly was the leading scorer of the game for the Knicks. I think Quickly was the last person to score on the bench. Like Hartenstein scored, Obi scored, Cam Reddish scored, Derrick Rose definitely scored. Quickly was just setting these dudes up, and next thing you know, letting the game come to you. What happened? Quickly found his touch, found where he was supposed to be on the floor, and got into a zone. And ladies and gentlemen, here goes the results that you see on the screen. I'm loving what I'm seeing from Quickly, man. He just got to stick within the flow of the offense because you that bench is ridiculous. Cam Reddish, who had a phenomenal first game, played some good basketball today. You know, it doesn't really shine on the stat sheet, um, but nonetheless, he played some good basketball. All right. Obi Toppin went bananas. Was another person who struggled first game. Ihart had a great first game, and played. He was really productive again tonight. And Derrick Rose, man, everybody was wondering when are we going to see that Derrick Rose that we're accustomed to. And Derrick Rose came out immediately and started going bananas. I don't think he missed from the three-point line. He had three straight threes, went to the bucket, finished off with 13 points. And man, the bench just really came through with it. And I believe as a whole, out of this 130 points, there was 62, 64, somewhere around that realm that the bench scored. So anytime the bench can score half and the starters complete the other half, what more can you ask for? But that's something we're going to touch on later, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get into these stats. All right? We're going to point out the sexy stats for the Detroit Pistons, man, because some people over there play some good basketball, such as my man Sadiq Bey in 33 minutes, 28 points, 7 rebounds. Bogdanovich, 18 points, 4 rebounds. He was getting to the paint a little bit too much for me, man, and had a couple buckets, layups, and I'm like, why is nobody stopping this man? He's not like that. But nonetheless, he was getting to the basket, and he was doing his thing, but we have to clamp that up eventually. Isaiah Stewart, 8 and 10, fired off a bunch of 3-pointers and all them stuff. You know what I'm saying? When he doing that, just get the rebound. Right? I don't even know why you contested it. Get the rebound. I think he was like 1 for 6 tonight. But good player though. You know what I'm saying? Interior wise, 15, 8 and 7 for Cade Cunningham. He just needs to work on that outside jumper. He kept shooting them things. So did Jaden Ivey, who has 17, 2, and 9, was a hack out there. But both of these guys are really productive guards. I think they're gonna really shine in the years to come. I do really love this team. I just feel like they need to work on that outside shot before you hear about this team making noise. So Cade, that's the next level of his game because I think interior wise he can attack the paint. He has that mid-range thing going on. He had like a little move that reminded me of like the Chris Paul special. You know what I'm saying? Chris Paul will go and wrap around the screen, and you know what I'm saying. He'll see if he could dish something off, or he just go up for that pull-up, and you know it's one of those unblockable ones. Speaking of Chris Paul in this sense, but when you got somebody who's 6'6", and I believe they said he grew in height, which is crazy. You know, Cade Cunningham could easily knock down that mid range. So it seems like that's going to be something where he's getting comfortable. And next is just that outside shot. Ivy just has to play to his strengths right now. He was firing off a little too many threes. But still, you know, statistically came out, you know, nice if you're not really looking at the efficiency. 17, 2, and 9. But 8 and 10 from my man Jalen Duren. That's somebody I'm a fan of, youngest player in the NBA right now. Or youngest player in the draft that came out. But That's enough of the sexy stats for the Pistons. Let's get into it for the New York Knicks, man. That's what we came for at the end of the day, ain't it? All right. In 28 minutes, my man RJ Bahé, man. Yo, RJ was putting on some moves, man. A little spin move. Let me go over this screen, man. Mitch, divert this, man. It's not necessarily a 100% screen, but, it's slowing him down. Let me, go get this contact. Go through him. 2 and 1s in a row, man. And what he do? Make the free throw after. That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? So my man RJ Bahé in 28 minutes, 18, 3 and 4, 15 and 6 for my man Julius Randle in 25 minutes. Mitchell Robinson, 8 points, 5 rebounds in 23 minutes. Didn't need to play too much. None of the starters did. 17, 2 and 6 for Jalen Brunson. Jalen Brunson just brings a sense of calmness when he's just out there on the floor. It could just be like, normally it would be like turmoil and we're like, oh my God, the Knicks need to get it together. It's like 6 possessions, they're just doing crazy stuff. We haven't seen that yet. This dude is so calm. He's just chilling. And in the first 2 games, 15 assists, no turnovers. Listen, this is what we want to see. All right? And that's something else we're going to be getting into moving forward. But Jalen Brunson just brings a sense of calmness running that offense. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm so happy to have a point guard. And every Knicks fan should be happy that we have a point guard. But moving forward, all right? 8, 1 and 2 for my man Evan Fournier. Like I said, he had some shots he could have went and took, but he was aggressive and going to the paint. He even had one where he was aggressive and went to the paint and kicked it out to RJ. And but that play got discombobulated somehow. I don't remember exactly what was going on with that play. I forgot how that play ended out. But nonetheless, I just like how aggressive he was and not just settling for the jump shot, But one hot take that I do have is if Quentin Grimes comes back and is balling, especially knocking that shot down from deep. One, I don't know 100% where he's going to get his minutes, but he's liable to finish games because Evan Fournier is sometimes a cone on defense. So Grimes, we know, is going to compete defensively. If he starts knocking that shot down, the only trade we could be seeing is for Evan Fournier. That's just my hot take. He's been moving really, really well in the offense. He hasn't done anything wrong. I just feel like if you could get something like that off the books and still be productive, you got Cam playing really, really well right now. You feel his presence defensively even when he's not scoring too much, and then he has those games like the Memphis game where you like, yo, this is the dude that we traded a first round pick for. Like, where have you been? So this could be a situation where near the trade deadline, Evan Fournier could be that odd man out. All right. So remember I said that. All right. 27-7, like I said, for the start of the show, man. Like you see on the screen right now, Emmanuel Quickley, Isaiah Hartenstein, 6 and 11 in 21 minutes. 16, 4 and 3 in 21 minutes for my man Obi Toppin. Do you hear that? 16, 4 and 3? 21 minutes? That's all it take? Come on, man. 6-4, 6 and 4 in 19 minutes for Cam Reddish. 13, 3 and 6 for Derrick Rose, man. And that was pretty much the end of the sexy stats. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get into the next part of this segment. Let's get into the next segment of this show, should I say. All right? Takeaways. Balance. There's a beautiful balance in this game, 60 plus from the bench, and then the starters complete the rest. I was saying, one, the team, like we put in the ball in the hoop, all right? We got 60 plus points, 72 to be exact, at halftime, all right? 72 points at halftime, and then 130. You know what I'm saying? So this is the type of basketball that we need to be playing. This balance, the starters, playing efficiently. bench coming in, giving that spark, man, and having the starters play limited minutes. When you got balance like this, it's just like what can you do? You know what I'm saying? It's like it's just so beautiful to see, man. I'm almost speechless. I don't know what to say at 100%, but it's just this type of balance. As long as the bench keeps it going, and I think today was something that they could definitely build on because I think IQ was that missing piece. We know Derrick Rose at the end of the day is going to be Derrick Rose. Obi Toppin is just he doesn't necessarily need the ball. He just needs to knock down that 3-point jump shot. If Obi is knocking down that 3-point jump shot with consistency, you don't even got to worry about that man no more because he's going to get his buckets in transition. All right, it's very rarely that he does not get those buckets in transition. We know there's going to be some games he might be, really, really quiet, like the Memphis game. But then there's going to be games where he's just leaking out and teams can't keep up with this guy. It's just, and he gets maybe 3 or 4 buckets very easily. You know what I'm saying? And even Julius Randle is picking up on that where he's leaking out and, yo, I got a little baby on me. Let me get that and then, outlet it, throw it up. I got a baby on me and I lay it up. So even Julius Randle is doing that and we're picking up the pace and we're playing a little faster and there's balance all around. The starters seem to gel perfectly and the bench seem to gel perfectly. And what's crazy is I feel like they could get better because you could still implement Fournier a little more to get his jump shots off. And for the bench, Cam doesn't have to stand in the corner for some possessions. You could just get it moving a little better with a little more fluidity. All right. Next up, man, run them out the gym. If these teams are subpar 500 on projection wise, they do not belong on the court with us. All right. So if these teams, if we going in, I'm not a betting man. I don't really understand these betting odds. But if they thinking that we should definitely be winning this game, we gotta run these dudes out the gym, and that's what we did with the Pistons. This team shouldn't be on the floor with us. You understand? So that's what we gotta do. We blew a couple of games, we blew a bunch of games last season where normally teams was not supposed to be on the court with us necessarily, but that comes with having a point guard, having a little bit more talent, and just controlling the pace and just, for example, next game we played the Magic. We blew 2 games early in the season against the Magic. Unacceptable. Knicks were projected to win those games. There's no reason why we should be dropping off games like that. All right? But we should be running these teams out the gym if they don't belong with us. If they're subpar 500, if they're sub 500 teams projected wise, such as like a Houston or OKC and things of that nature, we should be running these teams out the gym. All right, so it's just a matter of can we keep that balance going, and can we be disciplined and make the most of our possessions, which goes into the next one, protect the rock. Jalen Brunson, man, 15 assists, no turnovers. We had 12 turnovers as a team in both games. Protect the rock. If we protect the rock, man, look, you got 130 points. You know what I'm saying? And when you playing good defense, Pistons honestly wasn't even supposed to get 106 points. If this was a game where the starters played more minutes and, things like the normal minutes distribution, I'm not mad about anything with the minute distribution, but at the same time, it was a blowout, so I'm not 100% sure if Tibbs is keeping it this way. I feel like the bench did play a little too much at the end of the game, and you saw just chucking up shots and things of that nature. But we need to protect the rock. If we protect the rock, we could put more points on the board because we got people on both sides who are not turning the ball over, such as the starters and the benches. What I mean by both sides, you got Jalen Brunson calming down the offense, and you got Derrick Rose and Quickley playing safe with the ball. And, the second unit is a little more prone to turnovers. But some of them you got to risk because, we play really, really quick once that second team comes in, and I want to keep that going. But if we protect the rock, we can make the most of our possessions, and we could put the ball in the hoop, which seems to be a consistent factor that we're seeing right now. All right. Last takeaway, ladies and gentlemen, is playoff potential. When you got a team that's playing with this much balance, depth, I feel like the depth is hands down one of the greatest in the league. Um, so if we can keep this up, I know it's only 2 games. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but you got to factor in a lot of things. There's always injuries. Hopefully, not for our team, but with these other teams, like Chicago is missing uh, Lonzo Ball. You don't know when Lonzo Ball is coming, so it's always chinks in the armor, and we just have to constantly play consistent, especially when we go against division teams or Eastern Conference teams. If we just keep that consistent basketball going and win games, man, and I feel like we can muster up surprising games, such as Memphis. We really, really competed, man. I felt like we got robbed with the John Morant block, which was a foul. It was a foul and a goaltend, so it was just that call was all wrong. But I think some games where we're the underdog, we should be winning, and I think we'll pull off a lot of those games because we're doing such things as protecting the rock, and we have such balance with the depth all around. So this team has playoff potential. We could sneak in if there's chinks in our armor moving forward in the season. We could definitely capitalize on that, and I think we have the discipline to do so. Uh, Julius Randle looks really, really good right now. He looked like he's trusting the process and just not trying to do too much. RJ Barrett seems to uh, pretty much have tunnel vision, and he always responds to a bad game. That was probably easily the worst game RJ Barrett played in his career. But one thing about RJ, every time he has a bad game, he's bounced back, and he did just that tonight, and minimal minutes. And the team just bought into what we're doing. We're playing great defense, and we're putting the ball in the hoop. So if there's chinks in the armor and we just stay consistent and just take it one game at a time, I think this team has playoff potential. I normally didn't have us in that playoff race, not even really playing. If we did get playing, it was like, the lower section. But, seeing this team play now, it's we definitely have that potential. All right. Back to the main screen, so you can see my handsome face one more again. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed the show, man. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. Had to freestyle it, saying? Really taking notes. I just want to see how I will go this time around. And if I do not do a show for the next game, which is the game against the Magic, please pardon me, is because I'll be at the game. I want to be sure to see like Paolo in person, and then just catch a Knicks game. Honestly, I'm not gonna say I'm there for Paolo, but just wanted to see a good matchup. And Jalen Suggs was my favorite of last season. I like that Magic team. Hopefully, the Knicks could pull out a W. But yeah, if I don't report after that, that's why. But I'll most likely see you after that game. So it's a good start to the season, 1-1, man. Even with the loss, we felt really, really good, and we saw a lot of productivity and things that we wanted to see all around, all across the board. Scoring a lot of points. I think the first game we had 110. I don't know if it was 110 or 108. I think that was the final score. And then today, 130 against a team that we should be, smoking. So we did our job. So I'm very interested to see what's going on. The Pistons beat the Magic, so I'm kind of looking. I was giving the Magic the benefit of the doubt, but if the Pistons is beating the Magic, maybe this team doesn't belong on the court with us, and that takes me back to those takeaways, man. We should be running them out the gym. All right, so I think if we put a good lockdown on Paolo and stop him from facilitating and things of that manner, and just lock down the rest, make the other team beat us. Make the rest of the team beat us. I think we're in good shape, man. I think I'll finally be seeing a W live in person, man, because they've been losing every time I go over there, man. But we're going to change the narrative, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was my show, man. I'm your host, Young, Bro, Easy. Like, comment, subscribe, share with your peoples, man. You already know what the vibes is on this side, right? Love, gratitude, positive attitude. And I'll check you on the next one.